bet you find it's on everybody's mind. What makes us want to
Hello! Voila!
We shouldn't enjoy our song. I'm sitting here dead, not even thinking. Hello and welcome to Relationship Rehab here with Lee and Paul from CoupleDom.com here on Mingle Media TV. What do we talk about here?
We talk about relationships.
What kind of relationships?
All kinds of relationships. I haven't done that in a long time. We talk about marriage and couples and parents and parenting and friends. Sometimes we even talk about God and our dog.
And our dog.
I hope it was a burp.
Yeah, no, that's like for some reason he likes to be at our feet when we do this. And this isn't really our dog. This is our daughter's son.
Yes.
We can't even call it the dog. We have a very special relationship.
It's actually a little bit freakish.
Yeah. She carries him around like a baby all the time. And he likes it.
He's okay with that.
And he sleeps like that.
Good.
Until he mauls her face or something like that.
We're waiting anyway.
Anyway, it's been a very productive 2 weeks here at CoupleDom.
Yeah, it's been a little weird.
Yeah.
Good weird, but weird.
Good weird.
Yeah.
We are actively looking for, let's turn to my side.
Yeah.
Sorry. Actively looking for agents and got a nibble. And then she said that we were great writers, but great writers, but no. And then we went and sent it to a bunch of other people. Hello, Marla. Good morning, Marla. Yeah, so I'm fine, thank you, and how are you?
Yeah, we're doing very well. That's what we were just saying.
Yeah, so sent it to a bunch of other agents, and it's looking very promising right now with one agent, so...
Yeah. She asked us a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
Which, in a world of,
publishing?
Yeah, only yeses and nos.
Or nothing?
Or nothing, yeah. Asking questions is very, very good.
Yeah, showing some interest, so...
Right. I think I'm going to turn that
So before, I need to turn and get all
the camera
comfy.
a little bit close this time.
I know, we're like, whoa. Which by next week I gotta get a haircut.
Okay, got it.
You too.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm looking pretty.
You're looking very pretty.
Looking pretty.
Looking pretty with your hair.
Okay.
Plus she's gonna get a haircut too.
Yeah.
So,
okay, so today's topic,
we're talking about dating in your 40s. Second time around, third time around. We know that the statistics are pretty crappy when it comes to marriage. We know that the common number is 50% of all marriages end in divorce. So we know that second marriages, the average second marriage, the woman gets married when she's about 35, 36 years old. The man's about 37, 38. And those second marriages, their statistics are even worse because 70% of those don't last.
Right.
And that's a number that's kind of shocking because most people say, oh, well, second time around, you've got it all handled.
Right, and that's not
the case. And, the statistics do not bear that out.
No.
We know that people who tend to get divorced, that 50% is really made up of people who get married too young. And that is, anybody who got married before the age of 24 is in that gray zone.
Yeah, the 50% number really isn't as bad as they make it sound.
Right.
Because there's a large skew in the direction of people who got married very young, what we were just saying. The ones who, high school sweetheart. There's also the ones who
got knocked up.
Right, exactly. Pregnant
high
before.
Yes.
Low education. So you're talking, the ones that really mess up the statistics are, pregnant kids with no jobs. And apparently there's a lot of those.
Yeah, who'd have thought? And this is why the worst numbers for marriage end up being around the Bible Belt.
Yeah, This is
because
true.
they make these little teenagers get married, which is just crazy. But that's that's the way they do things. You know, in my case, I got married before the golden age of 24. Because statistics, I mean, if you read the statistics, like the bland statistics like we do, they tell you things like ideal age for a woman to get married, 25.
Yeah.
Ideal age for a man to get married is 27. We got married at 23 and 24. Difference was that one, I already had a master's under my belt.
Right.
He was already
well into school.
Well, long story.
Yes. I was at least into 6 years of my 10-year, 4-year
degree. Yeah. But you were already working as an engineer, and
yes, I was.
And he was doing very well in aerospace.
Use aerospace.
And
I was a parts liaison, which was a great job.
You weren't doing that when we got married.
Oh, that's where I started there, and then I went to G&H Technology, and I made glue.
Made glue. He actually and the connectors.
And
he actually worked on the space shuttle.
Oh yeah.
This was. When the space shuttle was a big deal, not being retired.
Yeah, right. More like when they blew up.
Well, it was right after they blew up.
Right after they blew up.
Right after they blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was part of the investigation and stuff like that. So it was fun. Anyway, so he didn't do it though.
Marla is talking to us a lot, which I like. So first thing, Marla, you are I was not responsible. When we said getting back into the dating scene, are you a second marriager, or are you into the dating scene now, or give us a little background on that one, because that's that's me, single mom. Okay. Were you married before? Is it recently single mom, or married for 10 years? Okay. Okay.
So then, you said that you married your parents. We all marry our parents, I mean, in one way or another.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting time. People are like, oh, I'll never do that. And it's like, he looks nothing like my dad, or she looks nothing like my mom.
Go watch your movie.
And the reality is, of course, every week Ricky has to come over here to do a thing. Anyway, the reality is that we are looking, it's not a conscious thing that we do. We're attracted to what we know. We're also attracted to things that, to issues that we need to resolve. So this is a pretty obvious one in my eyes. Okay, not really dating. Okay. Good. So then we'll talk about that, because this is a very important thing. I have a hard time when women close up shop. I have a hard time, I have more of a hard time when women close up shop than when men close up shop, because men hardly ever close up shop. When women do the whole thing like, oh, I'm past that. Oh, I'm so done with that kind of stuff. It just drives me crazy. Because we're more likely to do that. We're the ones that are more likely to say things like, I'm not going to date until my kids are out of the house. Okay? I'm not going to date. I don't want to bring in a strange man into my home. I don't know what he might do to my kids. I don't want some asshole telling my kids what to do. I
like being alone.
Yeah, I like being alone. Because it's safe.
Right.
You've created this illusion that it's safe. And I'm not saying it's not safe, I'm just saying that you're not content. It's like, okay, you're fine being alone, but at the same time, the reality is that we're built for relationships. Okay.
Yeah, we are.
We are built for relationships. Our psyches are built for relationships, and people excel within relationships. You could either do one of two things: either implode or excel in relationship. And the idea of this show and everything that we write about is that you make your relationship make you excel. The idea is to support one another. The idea is, did you turn off those super loud?
Yeah.
Can you turn off?
Yeah. How a relationship makes you excel. By the way, how old are your kids?
How old are your kids? 23. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes, they're out. Are they out of the house, or are they still living with you? 23 and 19.
Okay.
Out. Okay.
And when they hated,
Time to go date.
when they hated you dating other people, even though they liked the person. How old were you when that's around then?
Yeah. Okay. You emailed me. You emailed me, didn't you?
Probably.
You emailed me yesterday. Yesterday was a very crazy day, so I don't know if it was actually yesterday.
Okay, and also since you've got a show on Mingle Media,
write your thing.
When is it?
When is it? And all that stuff, and then we talk about it.
Okay.
7 and 2, my ex left when I was pregnant with Marla. Yes.
So when is your show? That kind of good
Yes.
stuff.
Plug it. Life After Kids on Sundays at what time? Can't watch it.
I mean, we'll just wait the whole
wait,
Sunday.
yeah.
You know? Okay.
Okay.
Let us know, or we will plug it.
Yeah. And then we'll talk. I mean, then you'll be on the show like formally. We'll actually put your face up there, and we can talk about it.
Oh, okay.
I wish I would have known this before. I think it was in the email. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yesterday was a crazy day for me. Anyway, so back to who we date and who we're attracted to. Subconsciously, we're attracted to certain types of people. And it really is less of a, what they look like or what their personalities are. It's more like how they could resolve certain issues for us. In our back burners, in our subconscious minds, we have, let's say, like a to-do list, okay? So you have things that traumatize you as children, and let's say authority issues. Like you couldn't speak at home, mom and dad always told you to shut up, so you're going to have problems finding your voice in life. So then you are going to subconsciously attract and be attracted to partners that are going to make you shut up. So it's going to force you to look at that issue and bring it out. So one of the things, like when we're doing couple therapy, that you look for is like, okay, what are you supposed to learn from each other? Why is it that you pulled this person into your life? For me, one of my issues was that men were just shit. Men were untrustworthy and things like that. So what I attracted into my life was a man that was completely opposite to that, so that it really forced me to figure out why I believed that and all that. And it's like, yes, I know I went back to my dad, and I went back to every man in my family. But the reality was that it's hard to let go of those beliefs. Even when you're sitting there with evidence to the contrary, you have that.
Yeah, last week we had, what was his name, Michael?
Yes, Michael Sherman.
We had Michael Sherman on.
Courageous, loving.
Yeah. And he and his wife practice Imago, and that's really the premise of the whole conversation, is that you got into the relationship to facilitate healing with each of the people.
Right.
To help your partner heal, and your partner is to help you heal.
Right.
And it's like, by the things I read, it's almost even down to a spiritual level.
Mm-hmm.
That cosmically you have attracted this person such that you can both heal.
I mean, you could look at it both scientifically, and you could look at it, in terms of spirituality, but
they were pretty hippie.
They were very hippie. But the reality is, it's like I agree with that. I mean,
as do I.
But it's like it's also sometimes in Paul's case, his mom is out there. I'm very similar to her in that type of personality. Very out there, ballsy.
Right.
Saying things that you probably shouldn't say. Yeah, I've been known to do that. Difference is that his mom tends to be more naggy,
right,
and whiny about things.
She's fear-based.
Yeah.
So things come out naggy and
right. And I'm not. But what the interesting thing is the way that he reacts to it is that he tends to give me nagging where I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Where things like Yeah, he looks for it, or things like, you know.
I was raised with it.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, I thought you were going to, you know, take out the trash. Oh my God, you know, and all of a sudden it becomes this thing of, you know, he feels this pressure because I'm pressuring him to do things, and it's like, dude, I just asked you, I just thought that you were going to do that. I'm not nagging or anything.
Now, the flip side is, you know, now I'm in a good, healthy relationship with somebody who is, you know, ballsy and sexy and all that. Yes, I'm comparing to my mom, though. Oh. Let's not go there. You know, who is, you know, who can speak her mind and all that, but doesn't do it from a fear-based, nagging, oh my God, everything's falling apart way. And as I heal and as I learn, then I'm actually able to go back to my mom and listen to her and realize that not everything she did is, you know, a nagging communication. Well, but a lot of it was.
Yeah, it was.
But the idea is that I'm able to be healing with her.
Right.
And our relationship, you know, my relationship with my mother gets to heal because I'm seeing a good model and a new model of women.
With the new car smell and everything.
That's right.
You thought he was pretty much the one. You know, and that's the thing, one of the things that breaks up marriages is really living in that fantasy. You know, we, unfortunately, you know, it's like being that we're part of the media, we are also these rebels in the media because we have so many issues with the media. You know, we grew up also with Brady Bunch, and a few weeks ago we did a show about how the Brady Bunch ruined our lives.
Right.
And we grew up with all of these fantastical ideas of what love was supposed to look like. You knew early on, you were aware. Mm-hmm. Well, most couples who break up do. Most couples, the day of their wedding, could be asked, and then no. But no one gets divorced. Right. Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's, you know, it takes a lot of guts to decide that you're worth getting divorced.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like can you see the shirt? I don't know if you're able to
get
see.
really close.
Okay, gotta do the shirt thing. Tell me what you can see.
Wait.
Why can't I?
There we go. No, you gotta get toxic.
A little bit more.
There we go. Toxic relationships beat loneliness.
I'm sorry.
Okay, toxic relationships beat loneliness. That's one of our disaffirmations. The thing is that people really believe that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that, well, at least I'm married. You know,
right.
And it's like, I better say like this for the kids, because kids are just going to fall apart if their parents get divorced. I mean, if that were the case, that means 50% of all people should be like thugs and horrible. Well, they probably are, but they're not. You know, those are the crazy statistics that you know, if you get divorced, you'll ruin your kids. Show them what happy and healthy is about. See, this is one of my problems. Before you go out there and date, get clear.
Right.
Okay? This is the biggest problem. This is why second marriages don't work. Because people don't bother to get clear in between. It makes it too easy not to work out your stuff. True, but at the same time, there is so much available. You know what it is? It's that we've created this image of what therapy is, which is a bunch of crap. Therapy isn't what you think it is. Therapy, you know, there's some truth to the myth, and there isn't. You know, therapy is fun, it's dynamic, it's scary, there's crying, and all that stuff, but you put in exactly what you want to get out. Okay? You know, if you're willing to be completely vulnerable and open to the process, you're going to get out a lot of that. If you don't, then you're going to get, you know, mediocre results. But if you're going in with the intention of, you know what, I'm clearing the deck so that the next person I attract into my life, yes, it does. The next person you attract into your life is going to be someone that is complementary to you, someone that is there not as an antagonist, but as a support system. You know, the next person you bring into your life is going to be your biggest cheerleader. That you're going to be, you know, compatible, you know, in every way, sexually, and all that good stuff, then that's what you're going to get. But if you're going out there saying, you know what, I don't want an asshole like my last husband, guess what you're going to get? An asshole like a last husband.
And by the way, you are, speaking of assholes, I will say, you are watching Relationship Rehab with Coupledom. See, I never get to do that. I figured I'd do that. Okay, go ahead.
You don't do that really well.
No, you do it so much better. I know. C is much better.
I am better at that.
Hey, hi Caesar.
Hey Caesar, hi my friend. How are you? Okay, so clearing the decks. I know someone that actually I'm very close to, and I know that this person never watches the show, so I could actually talk about it. But the person was married for a long time to a horrible husband, and divorced him finally, thank God, moved on, dated, therapy, and all that good stuff, got married again to a guy who is better because he's willing to work on himself, but at the same time still has those issues. Now, the problem with getting clear sometimes is being not so specific.
What do you mean?
You know, when you say things like, I want a man that's willing to work on himself. You also don't want a man with a litany of problems.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a whole list of things to work on.
Yeah, you know, I'm not saying that people could be permanently broken, unless, of course, you know, they're in padded rooms.
Yeah, right.
But there are some people that their list of issues is kind of overwhelming, and you're going to have to take a pass. See, you know, we have one of our first shows back in the day when we were on another network that we don't mention here.
Right.
No recent sober guys.
Now, interesting.
Yes,
okay.
no recent sober guys. What a smart thing.
The thing is, the no married or separated men, though.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, wait,
Definitely no married men. Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
Yeah, right. Recent okay, good.
I like this. I like this woman here. This is smart.
Right, yeah. These are, usually when I see somebody do a rules list, I immediately do a, because oftentimes the rules are based in your own, you know, the fears and the things that trigger you about your parents and all the stuff that we're talking about. Well, the rules are I don't want that rules. But these actually are good. These ones seem like good, healthy rules.
Right.
I like
that is good.
Yeah.
Those are rules to live by.
Right.
I have a hard time when women do things like, well, no sleeping no sleeping together, you know, until the X number date. I have a hard time with those. No this before that.
Right.
No, you know.
Yeah.
That might have made sense when you were really young, but in your 40s.
You're right. Yeah.
I mean, maybe because I'm not out there, you know. But I mean, I don't think. Well, I don't know, because I really don't know. But I don't think that I would be willing to sleep with a guy on the first date, like now.
All right.
I don't know. I'm not going to roll it out.
Yeah,
you're just looking at like that.
Yeah.
Shut up.
It's okay. You're not going on a first date with anybody. Don't worry.
I'm just putting it out there. I'm just saying. Yeah, we've been married 21 years, so.
Yes.
Our first date was a long time ago.
Okay, so, Marla, now you're putting a bunch of interesting, what do you call them? You know, the guys are guys, men still like to pursue you. These are beliefs that may or may not be true.
Yeah.
I know that.
You want to know something? The rules change as you get older. Because if you're in your 20s and you're willing to put it out there right at the beginning, then that's different. You know, it's like, in your 20s, it's almost like, you know, you can cut through the bullshit when you're in your 40s. Whereas when you're in your 20s, you can't. See, girls in their 20s, one, they look for cute guys. They're not looking for a mate as much as they're looking for a cute guy. And so then they're willing to reject a lot of men until they find the cute guy.
Right.
That puts the dating situation in a very different paradigm. Women in their 40s look for intelligent men.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right.
I mean, this is statistical. This is not... they've asked women in their 20s who date, they look for men who are sexy and cute. Women in their 40s look for men who are intelligent. You know, it's like they want someone to converse with. They know that cute is all great and wonderful, but at the end of the day, intelligent men are sexier, are better in bed. I mean, these are actual facts. Intelligent.
Thank you.
I'm just saying.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to trifecta. You know, I went for cute, sexy, and...
Excellent.
Okay, so they know that they're better in bed. They tend to be better earners, you know. They make more money because they're intelligent. So women in their 40s are cutting through the crap. They're cutting through the bullshit. They don't need to go through the cute guy who every girl in the world is wanting to hum. They want someone already stable. You know, the intelligent guy isn't going out there, is more discerning than just a cute guy. Mm-hmm. So when you're looking at, what is this?
What is it that you disagree with? I think I missed something there. This is always the problem with doing the chat thing, is that, we're talking and not necessarily listening to what I say, you know, and you're responding, you know.
The guys on the dating site, so many are players. You know what? Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, use the stock.
Okay. The guys on the dating sites are players. Because it's become, we are big proponents of dating sites. We think that they're a great idea. It's a way of pre-screening the people that you meet. However, we're not the only ones that have said that, and so now everybody's run into the pool and kind of flooded the pool. Mm-hmm. So you even have like married men looking for hookups on dating sites and stuff like that. So yeah, they need to get better at how they, screen people and get them out. But that's the whole point. If you're finding a guy that it's a bad dating town, it's not actually. Mm-hmm. The dating pool, statistically, it's not that bad. The problem is that we find that there's so much crap that you have to wade through.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Good.
That's good.
But that's the point. It's like, in the old days, you spent most of your time talking. Mm-hmm. There's none of this, it's like nowadays, all these kids want to do, and I say kids because, I'm 44. I look back at the 20s and stuff. Their idea of dating is all this, like, extreme sports stuff, and has to be big, and if it's not over the top, it's not dating. There's none of this, hey, let's just go hang out. Right. Mm-hmm. That's what we did, from the very beginning. It was the, at least one, because we would date on the weekends, so at least one of the nights, it was just us sitting around just talking. Mm-hmm. Look, you see, we decided to get married 17 days after we started dating, okay? We know what fast is. But the idea is that if you don't sit there and actually create a relationship during that time, all it is just a series of fun dates, maybe some sex, and that's it.
And this is, so I guess my question to you, Marla, because of the way you're writing things, what is the difference for you between making a friend and going on a date?
As an exception.
Well, yeah. The difference between making a friend and going on a date.
Yeah.
For me, there is no difference.
Yeah.
No.
See, that's the
be a spark.
That's the problem.
That's the one I was waiting for.
That's the thing. Chemistry is bullshit.
Right.
Chemistry is complete bullshit. Mm-hmm. if you've and we've been saying that forever, and then in the movie and in the book, he's just not that into you. That whole concept of chemistry and spark and whatever, that was created by, I don't know, in the movie they say it was created by men so they could let down a woman. I don't know who created the concept, but the reality is that there is no scientific backing to this idea of chemistry between people. You build chemistry. Chemistry is something that is created between two people. Paul and I were friends before we ever even started dating. There was no chemistry between us. There was no longing between us.
Yeah, actually, there is.
Okay, I'm sorry. You got it with me.
That's right. There is some scientific backing towards chemistry.
But it's long term.
Right. Well, no. The chemistry part, I'm talking about like the dopamine surge at the beginning.
Oh, okay, well,
okay. Yeah. There is a dopamine surge at the beginning when you see somebody who's physically attractive to you. That's not love.
No.
Okay? That's the same as popping a happy pill.
Right.
It's
like doing poppers when you're dating.
Like, ooh,
methamphetamine.
And you feel nice. It lasts for a very limited amount of time, and it can't be reproduced in that level.
It's like doing crack. The whole point of crack addiction is that initial high is so amazing, and every high afterwards is a search for the initial high, and then you can never get that high again.
And yes, that is love.
That's what lust is. That's what that chemistry is.
Right.
That's what crack is. That's not real.
Right.
Now, real chemistry.
Relationship
right. Real chemistry. He keeps leaving because the 3-year-old keeps walking in the room. The real chemistry comes from long-term relationships, where they find that people's neurochemicals start like firing at the same time. That people start resembling each other. That you could reproduce that lust and that dopamine surge 20 years after you've been married, and feel that flutter in your stomach and all of that stuff. That's the real chemistry, not the crap that you get like when you meet someone for the first time. That's like, oh, god damn, he's cute. Not this, not this, okay, this is enough to create a relationship. It's not about luck. It's really about building that relationship. It's like, it has to be something where you create friendship. That's why, I always encourage people, don't have sex, because you just muddy the waters when you do things like that. It's like creating the relationship, creating something deeper than just, I like you, you like me. It's like, do you really like who I am deep down inside? And in your 40s, you can wait for that kind of stuff. You can do that. I'm contradicting myself. Why? Because I'm saying not to have sex? I don't tell you what to do one way or the other in terms of sex. I prefer if you didn't. But I'm not going to get mad at you if you did. So if sex gets in the way and dopamine sends, one cannot see the relationship with the sex. One cannot see the... Okay.
The sex actually doesn't have much to do with it.
No, I mean it's like, I'm not contradicting it's like, if you're going out on a date and you have sex with, that's up to you. It's like, this is what you want to create in your life. I am not going to judge you one way or the other whether or not you have sex. I always encourage people to not put it out there, to deepen the relationship. I don't know if I were to do it all over again, if we would have had sex earlier, but that wasn't really, we got to know each other before we ever got together.
Yeah, I think the point is that it's not about...
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
I disagree with you about waiting. It's not a sexually timed thing.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that I'm not really hung up on the sex stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What I am hung up on are people who bypass relationship foundation.
Right.
Exactly, got to know each other. Right. I'm saying, yeah, if you get to know each other, if you really have those intimate moments and share intimate things from the very beginning. See, I'm talking about the average Joe out there, average Joe and Josephine. If you guys get together and you start talking the way average people do, okay, and start getting to know each other, then, it's going to take a while. If you are balls to the wall right at the first date and you are sharing intimate stuff and connecting on an intimate level and creating intimacy that way, then sex at that point, I really don't have a problem with.
Right.
I know me. I know how I am in terms of creating intimacy. I know this by my friendships, not necessarily like a sexual kind, because it's been a long time since I've, done anybody but him. But,
days
a week. No, but, in my friendships, I tend to get intimate very quickly because I don't want to go through this bullshit of, oh, okay, you're a nice person, I'm a nice person, maybe I'll share some stuff, maybe I won't. I don't do that kind of stuff. I test the waters up from the very beginning. It's like, oh, this is who I am. I'm like this and I'm like that, and if you don't like it, well, that's who I am. That's different. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, giving it time is...
Who having resolved the issues, you guys are helping. Right, but that's the thing. Yeah, exactly, but that's what I'm saying. If you're going to go date again, get in therapy, use your 10 visits and your insurance and get it done. Start hitting those issues head on. And when you're done with those 10 sessions, go find, a community center and join a support group. Go start, looking inside and seeing, what am I putting out there that I'm bringing back into me? What do I deserve in my life? And that's what always drives me crazy. It's like it becomes this thing of, revenge dating. It's like, okay, he was a jerk to me, and I want to be somebody different now. Well, you can't be somebody different if you're still about he was a jerk. Right. You got to deal with he was a jerk, clean that up, and then move on to who do I get to be, who am I, and what do I want in my life. And sometimes I would prefer to even bypass all of that and just go back to mom and dad and all the stuff that happened when you were younger and resolve that shit first.
So what made your last boyfriend a sweetheart? What made him a sweetheart? Okay. But there was no clue?
Huh?
Okay. I get the... Okay, so he cheated. Okay.
Okay.
He was a temper.
Okay.
Okay. So, going to note that earlier one of the first things you wrote about your parents was that they... Let's see, what was the actual words you put? That they took care. They were caretakers. Let's see, Mom and Dad. I'm going to scroll real quickly. Anyhow, you pointed out... Yeah. You pointed out that your parents were caretakers. I can't find it, but it's there. And the first thing you say about your boyfriend that made him a sweetheart?
He was a caretaker.
He was a caretaker.
Oh, Daddy.
Oh, Daddy.
Okay.
Huh?
I needed to be a caretaker. Exactly. Well, you needed to be a caretaker, and you needed to find a caretaker. And that's what we do. We learn from our parents and who we need to be in our lives. See, once you get over the idea that you need to take care of people, then you're going to attract a very different kind of person in your life. No, but it's, unfortunately I don't have my papers here. Let me see. Maybe I need a clean piece of paper.
Okay.
Thank you, my love.
All right.
Go ahead, keep talking.
Okay.
She was a caretaker, he was a caretaker. Go.
Okay, I needed to be a caretaker. But, okay, what I'm pointing out, though, he wasn't overly caretaking. Well, if he was intensive, that is the foundation of caretaking, is attentiveness. So that was which is what you wrote. Okay, so that is, he was playing directly into your parental issues. Okay. Respectful, that's good. time. But see, again, you are great sex. Okay, that one is not necessarily a caretaker thing, but the other ones are descriptions of caretaker. Go up your...
He's thirsty. Go. Okay.
Okay,
so.
I want to talk to her.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Some guys can't be with one mate. Some guys are sex addicts. Just like some girls are sex addicts. Okay? Relationship addicts. This is an addiction. You know? Huh?
It goes back to the dopamine that we're...
It goes back to the dopamine. It goes back to that surge. That, you know, looking for the high. You know, that's why... Yeah, it's the spark, it's the chemistry. That's what they're looking for. It's not about, I have to have somebody on the side. It's about, I need my fix. You know, and it's not about you not being enough, it's that they're not enough. That's their issue. That's not your issue. You could be, you know, an acrobat in bed. It doesn't matter if you're married or you're in relationship to a relationship addict or a sex addict. They're going to look for their fix. He was insecure more than he showed, of course. Of course. What was he insecure about? He was insecure about not enough. It's not enough. You know, this is a person, you know, it's like, I could profile this guy. This guy probably was not breastfed. If he was breastfed, it was only for a little while and his mother was resentful. Secondly, his parents probably were very nice people, but they weren't very affectionate. You know, this is the same thing that, you know, this is what profilers do. His mother was cold. No shit. Of course, that's why. You see, God, I could be in the FBI. That's what we do. It's like, you know, as soon as we get to be adults, it's like whatever our parents failed to do for us, not because they meant to do that, to mess us up, it's just because they did the best that they could, we go out and seek what we missed. So, in my case, what I was seeking was a man that I could trust, found a man I could trust, and then of course I couldn't trust him. Because I didn't know how to do that. Because by the men in my life, I mean, you know, I was raised by Latin men and women were used to men fucking around them, and the men, whoa, that's shit, baby.
Yeah, that's me.
And the men were used to cheating, you know. It doesn't really matter. You don't need, you know what? Because those parents don't exist anymore. Even if they are alive. I mean, my parents, thank God, are alive, but the people that they were 40 years ago don't exist anymore. Those are really just, you know, I don't know, like shadows of what I experienced in my life. So really the issues that he's dealing with, that you're dealing with, I'm dealing with, we're dealing with these shadows in our past. You know, these images of our parents, the way that we saw them. That doesn't necessarily mean that's who they were. You know, this is our angle of the camera. You know, one of the therapists we work with, he talks about camera angles, and that we all have different camera angles. If you have siblings, you're going to have siblings who say, you know, my parents were like this. And you're going to be like, your parents were like that? Bullshit. My parents were like this. And you're all going to have different angles of those same two parents. You know, one of you is going to get along with your mom. The other one's going to can't stand your mom, but gets along with dad. The other one's going to kind of be ambivalent about both of them. You never know, you know, what angle it's going to be. So, and you don't understand. It's like, how can we have the same parents? Because you didn't have the same parents. All parents, you parent your kids differently. You know, when people tell me, I try to be equal with my kids, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do, because you're going to have that one kid who's going to say, you know what, you liked her best.
Well, even that one statement. I try to be equal to all my kids. Well, the first kid didn't get that statement.
Yeah.
So you're already sure.
Because there was just one kid. How are you going to be equal with them? And obviously you can't be equal because you had them alone. So they got more of you, that one first kid. And then the second kid came and you have two of them. Well, guess why the middle kids don't get as much? Well, because you already gave more to the first. Then the first kid shows up, and then the middle kid gets lost in the shuffle because now you have the older kid and you got the younger kid and the middle kid. So obviously you can't be that for everybody. And you could come off as cold to one of them. Then you can come off as overly protective of the baby. And it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to screw up your kids anyway. It doesn't matter. You do the best you can, and period. Now, us 40-year-olds, when we're looking for love, those are the people that we're dealing with. Now, if you think of your parents now, let's say, if you're lucky enough to have them alive, they're going to sit there and say, you know what, I just loved you all the time, I just didn't know what I was doing half the time. That would be what they would say if they could. We're thinking that there's some sort of secret behind the way they treated us. There isn't, because if you think the way that you parent your kids, that's really what it is. You do the best you can on any given day. Some days are good, some days are bad, and that's that.
Okay, you're going to
There's been a lot of chit-chat. I could see scrolling and I try not to look at it.
Do the victim thing, because I have something to say on that.
Okay, so one of our first shows on another network, because I was trying to do this before, that we don't talk about that other network because, they're insignificant. But one of the first shows we did was the victim triangle and being a victim and all that good stuff. This is very important. If you're in your 40s, you must learn this. You should have learned this when you were in your 20s, teens, and before.
Yeah.
So, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
It doesn't look very good because I was trying to do it on the slide. Okay, so this is the victim triangle. Top is the victim. This is the persecutor, and here's the rescuer. This is how it works. Okay? So, persecutor victimizes the victim. Rescuer comes, rescues the victim. Okay? Victim turns around and persecutes the rescuer because the rescuer is treating the victim like they're helpless. Victim gets kind of sick and tired of that and turns around to the rescuer and says, back off, leave me alone, I don't need you, thus persecuting the rescuer. So then the persecutor, of course, the persecutor, of course, is persecuted by the rescuer who's like, how could you victimize this victim? Thus, the rescuer is still victimizing the victim the rescuer is victimizing the victim because treating them like they're helpless. So basically, it's just this big, circle jerk of stuff here because everybody plays the position of victim. Everybody does this. Now, when we talk about caretakers, we're talking about rescuers. We talk about people who like to take care of people. Rescuers, and I could speak to this as a professional rescuer. I actually went to school to be a rescuer. We have our capes in our glove box, so as soon as somebody calls us, like, oh my God, something happens, we're the first ones in the car, we're the first ones calling the troops in, we're the first ones to bring, the aid to the people. We are the rescuers. Now, in our minds, wow, we've got the best position because, nothing negative you could say about rescuers. The only negative thing I could say about rescuers is that we're tired and that we are the biggest victims of all of them because we don't know we are. Okay? Persecutors go around the world saying things like, well, she made me do it, he made me do it. Okay? They know they're victims. Deep down inside, they know they're victims. Victims with their, oh, poor me, all that stuff, that's their role, that's their game. They know they're victims. Rescuers, we're the ones that walk around saying, I've got the weight of the world on my shoulders.
Yeah, now getting out of this is taking responsibility. Living responsibly, being responsible, not being to blame, being responsible, there's a big difference, is outside of this whole victim triangle. So the reason why your therapist taught this to you after Mr. Peter, and I'm going to ask you the question, is you have a whole smorgasbord of men to choose from. You have a buffet of men to choose from. Nice guys, people who are, with good characters. Why is it that out of all these people, you're choosing the cheater? Out of everybody, you're going, you know what, I'm going to go find that commitment phobe and grab them. That is the question, and that's where your therapist was probably going, and that's going to be a question that ultimately you're going to want to answer.
And it's something that you attracted into your life, and the idea is taking responsibility for that. That much like, if you could say things like, I attracted that into my life, what you are also saying is that I can also turn off that attraction and attract something new into my life. It's not about being victimized by your attraction. It's about taking responsibility for that power that you have. You have this incredible power of bringing incredible people into your life. I mean, I think about, and this isn't, but I think about like when we started, doing coupledom and the people we've attracted into our lives in the last year and a half. People like Cougar Mama and things like that. you know, I never expected, you know, I always thought that I was, you know, that we were creating a writing platform, you know, that, because we want to be writers, and that's, you know, that's what we